Hello class, Bryce Parks here. In this video, we're going to be looking at um, your engineering project. And so what we want to do is we want to walk through just kind of an example here of what we're going to be looking at this engineering project. So for your engineering project, you're going to be doing a 3D design, and you can see in Google Classroom all the details or all the specifications for this design. Okay. For the design itself, you're going to have certain components that are required, and then certain components that you need to add customized flair to. Okay, so you're going to add specialty items that you are going to you're going to make it your own. So what I want to do is I want to kind of go over what we're looking at for this engineering project. So if you look on the handout in Google Classroom, you can see all the details there. So I'm going to walk through some of the big ones here, or some of the main components. So if you see on your screen here, you're going to see this is just a small sample one here. Yours can look quite different. Okay. Yours should have at least a body, and this body portion right here in the yellow, if you see this body portion, should be no bigger than 4.5 inches or so by 3 inches or so. It doesn't have to look just like this, and you could have yours having wings coming off, or having, I don't know, angled surfaces or what have you, but you need to at least have a body, because you're going to be adding certain features to it. So that's point A. The next one there, you're going to have at least 3 gears. So I just quickly threw in a few gears here, and I'm going to highlight a couple things about these gears. So when you design this, and whenever you, well, for my in-class students, you'll be 3D printing out a model as well. When you go to do this, you're going to have to make sure that like your pins and your holes and your gears line up so that it operates correctly. So what do we mean by that? So I'm going to use this basic one here for a moment. This was a students from a couple years ago, and they wanted to make a little contraption here with some gears. And notice whenever I spin the wheel on one, or the gear on one, it turns all the other ones simultaneously. And then it has, if you can see, these little black pins. These are connector pins here. And I can actually pull off, they made it with a back feet on it, but I can pull that off, and I can actually take these parts apart. You can make yours with, you'll have to use at least 3 gears. So that's the gear that we're talking about there, something like that. And then you're going to also have these joining pins. Now, whether you make this as one unit or separate units, you can see the directions there for more details. But if it doesn't say in the directions, then you can make it all one. That's fine as well. So you're going to make it with having at least a few different gears here. You can see on the screen, let me zoom up in here. Okay, so whenever I zoom up, boy, it's kind of pokey. There we go. Whoa. All right. So notice here on the, where my cursor is here on the gear in the middle and on the right, they're fairly close together, where there should be enough room that if you spin one gear, it's probably going to engage the next gear. If you look at the one on the left, let me kind of rotate this around a little bit. Okay, notice right in here, the teeth are barely going to touch, if at all touch. Okay, so I want to call your attention to that right there is probably going to be a miss on those gears. So you want to set those gears up where they're close enough, once again, that they're going to engage, but you still want them loose enough where they're going to have a little wiggle room or a little play, so that so they're not so tight together that they won't work right. Okay, you're also going to have to put in holes. So if these gears here, these purple gears on your screen, if those had the pins on there, so think of a male pin here, that's going to have to go into a hole. And so if it goes into that hole's got to be a little bit bigger so that pin can spin freely inside of the hole. And you're going to want to be able to do that, excuse me, once again, so that these move and can actually spin and they don't lock up or get too tight in there. So you can see the details there. So at least 3 gears, pins joining them, holes properly spaced so that your gears can engage each other. The next one there, you're going to add on your name. So you're going to engrave your name. So on this one here, if I come up and rotate it, you can see I put my name in the side. Very easy to do in Tinkercad. You just come over to your text. You can drag and drop your text, change the text name to your name, and then change it from a solid. Oops, there it is right there, the red one. You just change it from a solid to a hole and join them or group them, and then it will cut out that hole. Okay, so you're going to do that. And then that last component there, F, is to additional customized features. Okay, so these are going to be things that you want to add to it to make your design unique to you. So if you're into certain things, I don't know, sports, you could do a little sports logo or add um, sports paraphernalia or something like that onto your design. You can add legs. You can use the connectors. Let me see if I can move this here real quickly. Maybe. Let me. Let me move this over to the other side. And so if I were to come in here and change the basic shape to something like connectors, I can grab different connectors. Like say, for example, I could do a vertical socket and I could place that on the drawing kiosk or the work plane. And obviously I would have to raise that up and attach it to uh, the body of my engineering project. But I could make that and then I could add in there additional legs. So that's a vertical socket. So I'd have to scroll down until you found let's say the ball handle. I assume that would be connecting in. I'm not sure. I've not played around with it too much. You'd have to check the radius or the diameter of the ball to make sure that it would actually fit in to the socket. But you could add additional details like that. In my case, I made just kind of like what looks to be maybe a pool table or a foosball table, something like that, just trying to keep it simple. But you're going to be adding additional features to yours. You're going to also want to grab the gears from this tab. If you see on the screen where it says Shape Generator All, whenever you click on that shape generator, it's going to have lists and lists of different shapes that have already been created that you can use. So I think it was around 3 or 4 on mine, if I recall correctly. Let me see here. Sometimes these move around. Yeah, here they were right there. So pro gear, here's a metric gear, here's a useful gear, some different gear names, I guess, and you can fiddle around with that and find the gear that works best for you. Here's a cone gear, which if you put 2 cone gears together, you can actually get a 45 or 245s to a 90-degree bend. But what I want you to do is I want you to add in special features, whether you make them from scratch, whether you use them in the shape generator or the connectors or um, other features like that you bring in. You're going to want to use these in the Tinkercad platform to create a uniquely personal design contraption here. A couple things here. Make sure that it's legal. Okay, make sure it's school appropriate. So I would not want to see in this design a bunch of pot leaves designed into it, or Budweiser logo or something like that. We want to keep it school appropriate there. So you're going to design this. Once again, it doesn't need to be the Taj Mahal. You can use the KISS principle, which if you don't know what the KISS principle is, it's shorthand for keep it simple. I think the acronym technically is keep it simple stupid, but grade school version is keep it simple silly. The main idea, though, is to keep it simple. Okay, it doesn't have to be the Taj Mahal, but keep it simple and yet design it unique to you. Customize it to your liking. Make sure that it's something personalized that when you look at it, you say, yes, I designed that. I'm proud of that. So you're going to do that for my in-person classes. You're going to be 3D printing the different gears and the body and everything, and you're going to be building a model and then presenting it to the classroom. For my remote learners, you won't be able to 3D print them because you're not here to run the 3D printers, but instead what you're going to do is you're going to design it up in Tinkercad, and then you're going to record a video, and in the instructions there it talks about what all you need to address, what you built, why you built it that way, additional features you added, that type of stuff. So you can see all the details there in the handout. If you have any questions on this, please feel free to let me know. I'm here to help you. Otherwise, that will be your next design in the class.